Hello, it's me Mikey once again with a highly requested video. As you've probably inferred, this is a part 2 to the RCS2 ranking video I had made and uploaded almost a month ago, which is crazy. Before I start with the ranking, I have to beg you guys to like and subscribe to see more similar content in the future. But besides that, let's get on with the video. The first user we're starting off with this video on is Classic. Classic has been banned plenty of times, but he's always chill, which to be honest is the only way I can describe him. So B tier, I guess. John is next up. John is an interesting user. Before we talk about the controversy, he created RoTube, which is the most hated RCS2 trend because of how overrated and overused it is. On the Roblox Chat Simulator 2 Discord server, many people, including John, were on a VC playing Gartic Phone. Then all of a sudden, John draws up this obviously racist image. His reputation was never the same afterwards. He was later confirmed to only be 12 years old and was kicked out of the Roblox Chat Simulator 2 reporter group. This is an obvious D tier. Virus is next up on this tier list. Virus can do acts up sometimes, but besides that, he's normal. From what I know, I'ma just say a tier before he does something I don't know what though. MBooker is next up. This may be a bit controversial or not, but I'll put him on C tier. His shtick was that he pinged positive every second and he sometimes sent some weird videos and other interesting things. CoolGuy is next up. This may be controversial, but I don't really get why people like CoolGuy so much. He just sits doing nothing for most of the time in my point of view. The only positive is that he did create Paranormal Labs and Roleplay City, which firstly are overrated and second led to servers like Chronos Labs and the whole fandom trend to exist. So I'd put him in B tier honestly. Modern is next up. He's basically his Classic 2.0. Everything applies to him also, but kinda worse because he makes gender-bent art of popular characters. I'll still give him the B though. Murder is next up. Akagage_07. You may know Murder for creating the most overrated server in RCS2 history, the Curse of the Dark. If I was rating servers, I would have given it a D tier. But we're talking about the owner of that server, Murder. Murder has a history of being sensitive towards obvious jokes people make about the server, which had at one point led to Murder making the server invite only. I'd give Murder a C tier honestly. GamerGabriel is next up. You may not recognize his name, but you probably know him for making the Solar System server. He's a laid-back guy honestly, even with the sus dot. I'd give him an A tier. Silly is next up. Silly is the owner of the popular Boss Fight server, Boss Fight Battlegrounds. The server is really well made honestly, especially for an overrated trend like Boss Fight servers. Silly is also a decent guy in general, which is why I'll rate him a tier. Trilateral is up next. You may know Trilateral for making those high-effort murder drone servers that were really good. I still feel bad for him that his main account was banned from RCS2. I'll give him an A tier though. Zozo is up next. Zozo is probably one of the most interesting users on this tier list. Zozo owns the popular house server Mother's House, which is not a good server. The server's non-roleplay chats are always at the bottom, which always pisses me off for some reason. But back to Zozo, they have been known for at everyone pinging the most useless stuff like a bad word alert. Zozo also treats their own moderators poorly, even banning them sometimes for saying a nickname that Zozo doesn't like. And worst of all, Zozo always forgets to give roles out to people, which always aggravates peoples. Zozo is an example of a bad server owner. These reasons listed should not be committed to a server owner that wants to become popular. Zozo is honestly a C tier though. ZillionareTeddy is up next. Zillionaire created one of the most popular corruption servers for its time. The server was really well made and I don't think it's overrated at all. I'll give Zillionaire an A tier. JustJ is next up, and honestly, JustJ has contributed a lot to this community. Firstly, he made the anti-lazy Roblox group and Discord server about exposing how bad of a person lazy is, which I'll get to later. He's also made the fandom airplane server, which is the only good fandom server in my opinion, even though he permanently transferred ownership of it to someone else. Honestly, I'll give him an S tier. Tomfoolery is next up. If Tomfoolery never existed, all of the images and that one Sterling video that I uploaded here wouldn't exist. Hell then not. I'd lose status, which has been on my profile for who knows how long, was originally thought up by him. I have to give him an S tier. BDT is the next up. BDT is honestly a chill moderator. I remember when I kinda had a grudge for him for exactly no reason because he was a Skibidi Toilet fan, but he actually grew up. I'll give him an A tier. Lazy is up next, sadly. This is the part of the video I've been dreading for. I won't talk about everything because this video will be so long, but in summary. Lazy is an RCS2 user who owns a chatting server. He had groomed his friends on Discord and commissioned them to make Rule 30 for art and doing erotic roleplay. I wish I can give him something even worse, but I'll give him an obvious D tier. CoolDude is up next and he's interesting. Firstly, he themed his profile all around the Verbalays incident that happened last month. I also remember him basically making heavily cropped Rule 30 for which he photoshopped and would somehow get past Roblox moderation. I'd rate him a B tier though. CherryMoon is up next. You may know CherryMoon for making the corruption apocalypses, which is a bit overrated in my opinion. If Zozo is an example of a bad server owner, then CherryMoon is an example of a good server owner. Besides that, CherryMoon gets an A tier. Pavel _Ty is next up. Pavel is genuinely a great person. I remember he told me that he wanted to become a moderator one day and that he wanted to collect all of the badges, which he would later succeed with. I'm just glad he enjoys what he does. I'll give him an A tier. Millitaryscout is the next up and the final up. I had to include at least one Paranormal Labs moderator and I choose Millitaryscout. I've decided to rate him ever higher than CoolGuy, which people would hate me from doing. But I'll do it anyways because he actually has a personality. I'll give him an A tier. Finally, I'm done with this video. It took me forever to write the script for it. I hope you really like this video because it took me forever to make, honestly. I hope you have a good day and bye.